Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KGX to the Z TV. Chelsea 2, Burnley nil. Or should I say the other way around since Burnley was the home team. Burnley nil, Chelsea 2. An important 3 points as we move into second place because of some things that transpired late. Newcastle handling business at home 2-1 versus Man City, them dropping points. Liverpool with one of the worst title defenses that we've seen. But enough about them. Today it's about Chelsea. 3 points. Important rest for the likes of Caicedo. Important rest for Reece James. Got 45 minutes out there. Little kickabout. Little fitness check here. He did play midweek for England and things like that. But yeah, it was a professional performance in this one. I think we are 8 in a row with these early kickoffs now, which is I had to do a double take on that as well because I was like, there's no way, right? Every big club thinks that their record in the early kickoffs is very very poor, and especially coming off an international break too. You got all the stigmas. We've got South American players, but luckily the likes of Esteval got some rest. Caicedo did play 2 matches midweek, so he importantly got some rest. But João Pedro was with the Brazilian team, but luckily they were here, or in England and Europe, so they had a chance to not travel halfway across the world and things like that. So we had Delap up top. Important for him to get some minutes in there. Didn't play the best. Had some good moments, but then had some extremely poor moments where the decision making just wasn't quite there. Which I'm not going to crash it on him. Like I said, we won. We got the 3 points, so it's not about pointing fingers. It's about getting the 3 points, having no injuries, and then moving on from this one, which is what we do, right? Because we know midweek we've got Barcelona. On the next weekend, we've got the big one. Could be 1 versus 2. It could be, depending on what happens tomorrow in the North London derby, this could really put us back into the title race. So we've got some fixtures that we had to get for this one. That we're looking ahead, and some fixtures that we had to circle on the schedule and say, you know what, this is a must-win 3 points. We know Burnley is a poor side. We know that we have the capability, even if we do rotate, that we can put out a lineup out there that is good enough to handle business. And that's exactly what we did today. Professional performance, right? Wasn't the prettiest. We started off a little bit slow. We started off a little lackadaisical. I thought Burnley were better for the first 5-10 minutes. We really grew. I don't want to say we grew into the game, but we sort of were baiting Burnley a lot, right? We had Tosin back there. We had Trev back there putting their foot on the ball. They were sort of trying to dictate them, trying to set traps a little bit, waiting for Burnley to come press high so we could exploit the space behind. And when we did, and when we broke, it was fantastic. We had some clear cut opportunities, but we just decision making in the final third. There was a moment where Gittins had it in a nice opportunity of space. He cut it back, wasn't there. He had another opportunity for a cross, wasn't there. Delap again picked up 2 loose passes, played the wrong option and things like that. So there were some opportunities there to really punish them early, but finally we got the breakthrough. And it's nice, always lovely when you see one winger creating for another winger. We've seen that with our fullbacks at times where Reece James will create for Cucurella or vice versa. But today it was Gittins on the left. And Gittins, I thought he had a pretty decent game, not a great game, but that was more so the fact that we didn't get the ball to him enough, right? And that's going to happen when Trev is playing on that left-hand side, right? Trev's not the most adept passer when it comes to his left foot, right? He's not going to open up his body. He's always going to be looking inside. So Gittins at times was isolated, but we were able to get him in 1v1s with Kyle Walker on some switches and things like that. But Gittins this time beats Walker inside, sends it across, lovely weighted cross to the back post, and Neto just gets it on frame. Lovely diving header, and it's 1-0. And really calm performance when it comes to, really good performance by Neto though. Very active. Could have got the second goal. Very unlucky, hit the post, but he was little, like I said, a little unfortunate, but worked hard, grew into the game. We played a lot of stuff centrally, right? João Pedro had some opportunities. Like I mentioned before, Delap had some opportunities, but other than that, it was very, very smooth sailing. Burnley tried to come out a little bit late, didn't really have any opportunities that really worked the keeper, but we do get the second goal, and again, it comes down the right-hand side, but this time it's Mark Guéhi who had come on. Guéhi gets the ball, and we build out of the back, and the beginning of this transition was very, very close to being a comical error, right? It was Sanchez and Gusto, two of the Bozo brothers back there, playing a little game of 1-2, but Gusto luckily wiggles out of it. He passes it forward to Neto. Neto does very well, covers a lot of space, carries the ball, gets it up there to plays a nice little reverse pass into Guéhi. Guéhi turns the defender, gets his shoulder by him, and very mature, gets his head up, plays it across. Enzo taps it in. It's 2-0, and the game's over, right? So, look, wasn't the prettiest, but at this point, it's always going to be points over performances. We're getting into that time of the year where traditionally we struggle and we drop points. And now, with some of the players coming back, right, we got Cole Palmer who had a little regression or a little new injury pop up with his toe. We know Lavia's out, but Badiashile got an important 45 minutes today. Like I mentioned, Reese was rested today. Garnacho was rested today. Caicedo, we didn't have to bring him on to shore things up because Santos was just absolutely fantastic. If you closed your eyes and you just had the commentary on and they said someone out there, a midfielder out there for Chelsea is just cleaning things up, coming in with key interceptions, key tackles, key blocks, you would have thought Caicedo was out there. But no, it was Santos today. My man of the match. I know Neto was fantastic and was really on the front foot and probably the best out of our attackers. But Santos was the one that was back there just cleaning everything up, playing it very, very tidy. Didn't have to do too much on the ball because a lot of the buildup, because of the way Burnley was starting to sitting back in like a mid to low block, a lot of the buildup was the responsibility was down to the two center backs. But professional performance, like I said again, no one had a bad game. No one really was poor. Delap was probably the worst out of all of them. João Pedro right behind him in terms of squandering some chances and fluffing in the final third and things like that. But overall, like I said, very, very mature performance coming out of the international break, especially what transpired today with some of the other folks around us dropping points. If tomorrow, if Spurs can stand up, at least scumbag a point, we could really, really be in business for these two big fixtures coming up. But yeah, midweek, Barcelona, looking forward to it. We get them at the bridge, and then Arsenal. So I'm looking at it from a standpoint of we've got to win one of those two games. You could say that the Arsenal game is probably more important, but if we want to get that top 8 in the Champions League, beating Barcelona is also very important. So we'll see. But as always, I appreciate everybody locking in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.